Welcome back to the Marching to Madness College Basketball Zoomcast podcast with Coach Cuonzo Martin of the Missouri Tigers on here. He'll open up his fifth season at Mizzou this year after taking the Tigers back into the NCAA tournament last year, Coach.
Feels good. I mean, it feels good to be a part of this program. I like where we are as a program. We've had a really good start to our summer, head into week 4. Enjoy being around the guys. So the energy is high, and I like where we are.
Yeah, you know, last season was just tough for all of us. We navigated through the pandemic. Talk about running the program and the hurdles that you came across. Obviously, it was something unknown to you as a coach and really all of your players.
Well, it was different, but when you say different, it was different for everybody. So we had to understand that part. So it's not as if we were the only team impacted by COVID, but I thought it was a valuable lesson because I've always been one to try to see through the obstacles and let that be the way you learn from whatever that is. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I've always enjoyed the bumps in the journey because it teaches valuable lessons. And in the process, if you're able to overcome those lessons, you can share those with somebody else. So for me, it was just a part of it. It was life and helping our guys understand not to make excuses. If you feel a certain way, limit your excuses and understand what we need to do as a team, be successful, be together. I think what it did, it brought us closer. You feel like you're close as a team, and I think it brought us closer just because of the situation. We had to be around each other, and just like one of those sayings, we all we had, we all we got, so we had to stick together. And I thought our guys did a good job with that.
Yeah, and moving on to 21-22, you have quite the restructure here on the roster. Kobe Brown, Javon Pickett, they're back as your leading returning scorers. You had, I think, 4 transfers and 6 incoming freshmen.
Yes, we got 8 new guys, and I say 8, but Sean Gordon was a guy that he was a freshman for us, but he came in December. He didn't play for us this year, so he skipped his high school year and he came in. I thought he did some good things for us in practice, really adjusted well. You can see his growth within probably the 5 or 6 months that he's been here. So happy to see him here. And then I like our guys. I like the transfers coming in. I like the incoming freshmen. They've done a great job of being around each other, building the chemistry and the camaraderie together. And it's one day at a time, and it doesn't happen overnight.
Mm-hmm. Well, these guys obviously have worked to connect as a unit already. Talk about how they've gone about business and making the connections with each other.
The thing in sports, and sometimes when you're a team, you talk about togetherness, and I say that all the time and what that means to be together, but also when you say we're brothers, we're family. Well, if that's the case, then that love has to be unconditional love. So that means ups and downs and highs and lows and whatever we go through is building those relationships. And I think the biggest thing we try to do as a staff with so many new guys, I mean, you're talking about here in the first 3 weeks, the guys have been on my house 3 times. And so now they'll come over again, I think, tomorrow. So just really trying to build those relationships, but more than just coming over my house. We try to play games, dominoes, spades, and that's an old school game that people like to play, just different things like that. And just really getting to know your guys, because it's one thing to know them on the basketball floor, you're around them in practice, but it's really getting to know them and build an intimate relationship kind of behind the scenes. And I think that's how you grow from young men to men. That's how you develop genuine relationships. And oftentimes you find out things about them and their families, and they find out things about me, because I say to our guys all the time, jokingly, but seriously, man, do you know if my grandmother is still living? I mean, because in recruiting, there's always the coach asking all the questions, and really, or the young men asking the questions to the coaches. So I always say, man, get to know me. Even in recruiting players, I always say, whether you coming to my school or not, get to know somebody. Ask those questions. I think that's where we struggle, because we don't ask the questions on the other side. And then last, like I say to our players all the time, relationships are a two-way street. So we're going to have a great relationship. Let's get to know each other.
Mm-hmm. Now, Kobe, Javon, and of course, Jordan Wilmore, their roles in working to solidify things, I'm sure they've probably taken the lead and really helped you out.
Yes, and those are good guys to follow. Mm-hmm. Because especially Javon and Kobe, because they played in a lot of minutes. Jordan is obviously a high character guy, but now he's getting adjusted to a different role with Jeremiah Tillman being gone. But Javon and Kobe, those guys, battle tested, been in games, and how they move. People respect how they move because they go about their business the right way. Very intelligent guys in the classroom, super guys off the court, great teammates. So they what you want in a teammate. And we're bringing Jordan along because it's a different role for him now. And I think our guys have adjusted well to those three guys because, again, they're high character guys. And all they want to do is be successful.
Yeah, Jordan playing behind Jeremiah Tillman. Talk about maybe how Jeremiah Tillman might have been like a mentor for him.
Well, I think when you're talking Jeremiah Tillman, you're talking about a guy that not only not coach, but I have a love for Jeremiah Tillman because
Yeah.
one, he's a wonderful young man. He's also from East St. Louis, Illinois. But the thing with Jeremiah, he could write a book from his growth from a young man into a man. Talented young man, learned his way, found his way, the ups and downs and highs and lows. And oftentimes we criticize when you say the ups and downs of life, but we all go through the ups and downs of life. And I think that's the beautiful thing about life because it's the journey in which we operate and we learn lessons. And I think Jeremiah can truly write a book. And I think in Jordan's case, just watching how Jeremiah moved every day, his approach to practice, approach to the game, his character as a senior, his ability to lead, wasn't a disrespectful student athlete. You know, sometimes as seniors, you kind of find your way, but Jeremiah was always a humble person, always wanted to be successful, always valued coaching and respect you as a coach. And now the lessons that Jeremiah tells the guys now that he's removed from it, it bodes well for the future of our guys.
Yeah, the rookie of the year in the Mid-American Conference was Gerald Coleman 2 years ago at Ball State. Now he joined your team. He's going to really be a key, I think, for you now in upgrading your three-point attack.
I think so. You're talking about a guy that, 6'5", 200 plus pounds, shifty with the ball, can shoot it from the perimeter, but also maneuvers around the rim, has a great feel for the game. Loves to facilitate the ball as well as score the ball. Great addition, but also his ability to communicate right now. He's not a guy that's afraid to communicate and talk in practice, say certain things. And I like that. I like natural leadership. I'm not big at appointing leaders. I like guys to be born into those roles, and he's one of those guys certainly emerging as a leader.
And then the other transfers, Amari Davis averaged 17.2 points at Green Bay. DeJuan Gordon to Kansas State transfer, and then Ronnie DeGray coming in.
Yes. All three guys, I think, were scoring a variety of ways for us, get to the rim. You're talking Ronnie DeGray, a guy that slashed to the rim, made plays, shot the three-point ball well. DeJuan, a guy from K-State, Coach Weber did a tremendous job in coaching him, a guy that can defend, get up in the ball, make plays off the dribble one-on-one. Then Amari, Wisconsin, Green Bay, can score the ball. You average 15 as a freshman, 17 as a sophomore, a guy that knows how to score the ball. And he's very efficient with his movement, doesn't waste a lot of time, gets to point A and point B. So I really like that about him.
I was looking at your freshman class of talented kids in there, and Antoine Brookshire, I think, might be, the leader coming in and on the point. What's the overall thing that jumps out about this group?
I think with our freshman group, I think the athleticism, I think, is good, but also, sometimes we use the word IQ, and I'm not sure if that's the right word, but their feel for the game, their understanding of the game, just making sound decisions with the basketball, making natural plays. And that was one of the things we try to look for. Of course, athleticism and talent, but I think those guys have the ability to do other things and not just guys that shoot balls or just scores. They're good all-around basketball players, and I think they have the ability to do well on both sides of the basketball. And I think, you're talking Caleb Brown, a guy that's 6'7", Kobe's brother, probably 6'6", around 6'6.5", a guy that can play 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 for you and just knows how to play basketball. Trevin Brazil's a talented, 6'8", almost 6'9", probably 6'9" now, long athletic slashes, can do a lot of things for you. Yaya Keita is a talented player as well, really shooting the ball well for us at 6'9", 230 pounds, but a tremendous frame on him. So I do like where we are. I like where we are as a program. It's a great feeling to have right now, especially this time of year. I think we're growing.
As we watch a lot of the NBA playoffs right now, do you feel like college basketball has gotten more to a point where you're more about finding matchups than you are attacking a certain defense with an offense?
Well, I think the biggest key with college basketball, we have to do everything in our power to mimic the NBA because that's the ultimate goal, and it's basketball. Because if it's good basketball, then that should be everybody's goal. And I think you have a certain style, how you get to that point. Every coach has his own style. But I think the ultimate goal is to try to, the college basketball game should probably look exactly like the NBA game, because if that's the ultimate goal and that's the ultimate basketball league, then that's what we should try to aspire to. But I just think it's a great game. You want to learn it. Like for example, I text, John T and Mike last night, just on different things. When we're working out with our guys, what are some of the things I need to get better at showing these guys and helping them guys? And I'm always asking the question, the guys that seniors that left our program, how can I get better? What are some of the things, the next things? And I think that's the great thing when you're willing to grow and learn and understand. That's a beautiful thing. Like, for example, Jonte Porter talked about the floater for big guys. And I think that's something we'll incorporate. I think but you want to get that information because our guys want to be at that level. So you have to learn from it. And I think that was great.
Looking at those playoffs, I think it's really healthy for the game when you have a Final Four of the Suns, the Clippers, the Bucks, and the Hawks, because they're really four teams that you didn't expect to be there. You might have expected Milwaukee, but I don't think the other three.
Well, I think, of course, you have to have a tremendous amount of talent. But I think in that talent, they have to have great relationships amongst each other, in my opinion, but they also have to have a tremendous amount of respect for the head coach. That's very important because when you're talking about guys at that level making that kind of money, it could be 50-50 on whether or not I agree with the coach, disagree with the coach, or want to listen to the coach, right? So I think it says a lot about those guys, the respect level they have for their coach, and I think that's why they're at this point. Of course, they're very talented. I think, Monty with Phoenix has done a tremendous job.
Definitely.
Like you said, a lot of people would have thought Milwaukee would have been there. Ty Lue, I mean, and he's one of the best coaches in the game. I'm not sure why he doesn't get the credit he deserves. I mean, it's just amazing to me how, Phil Jackson, as you win 11 championships, and it seemed like he didn't get the credit he deserved because he was coaching Mike and Kobe and those guys. Well, man, it's what it is. I mean, I was blessed to coach those guys. It's probably just as hard as coaching those talented guys because they know just as much as you do as a coach, and you got to be able to manage that. So we have to start giving credit where it's due when these guys can coach the game at the level they coach it at. And then Nate McMillan, phenomenal job. So again, some of the best in the game, we have to start giving credit where it's due.
Yeah, definitely. Last thing, Coach, before I let you roll on with the day's duties, I'll tell you, the name, image, and likeness thing is, of course, front row and center, and it's, in my opinion, long overdue. Can you talk a little bit about universities and how you think the implementation of this may work so it's equitable for everybody?
Well, I think that's the biggest question. I think the NCAA is still working on as we speak, how it can work for everybody. But I think when you're talking name, image, and likeness, it's my name and my branding as an individual. And I think we have to understand it. It's almost as if they're professional athletes when you look at it like that. I'm just hopeful that everybody can benefit when you're talking student athletes because all sports are important. I think college sports makes universities go. I mean, you have tremendous professors and deans of students and all of that, but I think the sports make it go, and it's exciting. It's a lot of energy. So I'm hopeful that we can find a way that these young men and women can benefit off their name, image, and likeness, because like you said, it's long overdue. It's just a matter of how and make sure we maintain the integrity of college sports, whatever that means.
Yeah.
But I'm hopeful that these young men and women can benefit from it.
Coach Cuonzo Martin, always a pleasure connecting, Coach. Great to get you on, and I hope to talk to you again in the future here.
Thank you, Ken. Appreciate your time. Take care.
Appreciate it. Thank you.